Well, hello and good morning. My name's Kieran Siemens, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the formats, as some of you have been a little bit confused about what format art comes in. So, I'm going to do a short little description with some demonstrations. Let's do it. Okay, so some of you have been asking about what is format. Format usually comes into the description of what size is the drawing, what size paper is the drawing done on. Now, at the moment, there is this thing called ACEO, and it is these tiny little 2.5 by 3.5 images, which look something like that. There you go. Something like that. Now, it's a very, very small drawing, and I don't really like it because it is too small for me to really get my ink moving. And then you have an A6. An A6 is that size. Now, you can't really see the drawings, but you don't really need to see the drawings. But there you can see it's almost half the size. If you put it like that, it's half the size of that one. And that is an A6. Now, an A5, again, is almost, that is like 2 of the A6 can fit into it, or 4 of those. So you can see how the size is slowly growing. Now, if I try to hold that, and then you'll have your A4, which is that. Now, there is a bigger version, which I much prefer to draw in. I much prefer to draw in the one that would combine all of those, which is the A2. Now, the A2 is a very large piece of paper, but it does give you that scope to be able to throw your ink down and to paint. The A5 is not bad. That's a nice little size to do doodles on and do drawings on. It's quite nice. But the smaller you go, the more tight your drawing has to become. And as you're going down to these little A6, they're okay, you know, they can give you a little bit of life. And as you get down to the little A6, it starts to get very difficult. But I have done a new batch since they were so popular last time and they sold out so quickly. And I've done a lot of new art to go with it. There is a lot of variation on sizes. Again, you've got terrible glare on there. That's an A5. That's an A4. That's an A5. That's an A5. Back to the big A4. And the A4 is, then you can kind of go up to, you know, A4. You can see from an A4, there's your A4 there. Your something like that is an A4. And then you've got an A3. Now, A3 is beginning to be nice. That size is starting to be a pleasure for me. Now, one size up, 2 more of these pieces of paper would be an A2, and that's a huge, big piece of paper. But that is what the format is. The format is basically the size of the paper that I am drawing on. And there's a very lovely trend at the moment on these little kind of ACEOs, which are tiny little, almost like trading cards, as they call them. And some of the drawings come up really, really lovely. And there's a few there that I really, really do like. I really do like this one as well, look. I'm not quite sure. It just got friend written underneath it. But that is something of the format. This type of, you know, you go one step up. Let's take another bird so I can see that. There you go. There's the comparison of those two birds. One is an ACEO and one is an A6. So there you go. That's the size comparison, as you will find out when my artwork is put up. And there's going to be a lot more stuff going up for sale. So please, go and have a look. There's some gorgeous stuff coming up. I still love that angel. I don't want to even selling me so gorgeous. But thank you very much for all your sales. As you can see, all the sales have gone to, I don't know if you can see them, but there is 100 drawing pads behind me. Can I lean forward back enough? Well, there's about 100 drawing pads that I've just had ordered. And that's all from the sales that you have done. You have basically invested your time and energy into me, which I love. I love the fact that by selling some artwork, it comes back into buying paper and ink for me to do more. So thank you very much. And I hope that explains all the art formats of A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, and the little ACEOs. So thank you very much. I hope that explains everything. If you've got any questions, let me know. And I'll see you back on here for some more drawings later on today. And in the meantime, pop on over to eBay and get yourself a goodie. Some lovely colour stuff there as well. In fact, there's a lovely little colour crocodile there as well. Look at that one. He's quite cute. So I thank you very much, and I will see you very soon. I love you all.